First of all, this is going to be just a rambling video, but it's basically about how I wasted my time off work over the holiday. We will address the eye situation, though, I promise. Sorry if it's off-putting. Well, I guess maybe I will just tell you now that I have a probable case of pink eye, and we'll talk about that in a minute because I have some other things that I want to ramble about. So, getting off of work at the end of December, knowing I was going to be off work for a couple of weeks, basically, I had all these plans of all these things I was going to do, I wanted to clean out some closets and I wanted to be productive and take advantage. I thought maybe I would make extra content, create some extra videos and everything, but I really have not put out any more content than what I did when I was not off for 2 weeks. But as you can see, I haven't really been completely comfortable. I don't really feel 100% today. This is bothering me. I'm not a wimp and I don't really complain about things, but I think it's been going on for so long that it's just basically bringing me down a little bit. My fault. I let it go on for a long time because I thought I was having allergy issues, which is unlike me. So I kept trying to look for things in the house that could be causing me an allergy problem, or, what's going on outside, or, something, and I was taking allergy medicine and putting drops in my eyes and, to get the red out. Meanwhile, I think this was brewing, and actually I'm getting ahead of myself. I like to do things in order. I think I even like to ramble in order, weirdly as that is. Okay, back to the fact that I was going to try to get all these things done while I was off work. Well, I did clean out a bathroom closet, come to think of it. Yes, I did. I cleaned out my bathroom closet. So that's accomplished. Mind you, I think this has been going on for almost the entire month of December. Probably at least 3 weeks. I think I have let it get out of hand. Part of the reason that I feel like I wasted my time off is because I'm so busy when I'm at my work time, like regular weeks. Most of my time is being taken by work or doing something for my mother or taking care of my home or running errands for myself or going to appointments. There just isn't a lot of downtime, I'm single. Everything that needs done in my life, I do for myself. So if I have 10 things that need done in one day, I'm not splitting those 10 things with somebody else, it's like I'm doing all 10 of them. And so it takes more time to get things done. So I just feel like I don't have a lot of downtime to do nothing. This has sugar cookie creamer in it. Now I try to is, and I'll tell you why when I get to that part of the video. I want to be able to just do ramble videos and not edit, but I can't think like other people. I don't know if I have ADHD or what, but I can't focus and just talk and ramble on. I would love to do a live video, a live ASMR ramble type video, but I just can't think enough when I'm recording. I can if I was sitting here in my house talking to myself. I can talk nonstop, but if I'm trying to come up with things that I want to mention, I have to keep a list, and I have to keep looking at the list. Like right now, I'm gonna look at it again. Oh, one of the things that happened is I have to fix my toilet. Just the flusher, is loose, and you have to wiggle the handle after you use the toilet. So I was Googling like how to fix that, and I ordered a toilet handle, and I'm waiting for that to come in. I think Friday I have things coming in. Oh, I ordered lights to go in the back of my videos, like a little lighting thing. But I really want to get to the point where I'm done spending money. After the holidays are over, I just love to get to that point in January where you are just done spending money. I also need to take down my Christmas decorations. I didn't put a lot up this year, and I'm grateful for that now that it's time to take them down. Probably none of this is interesting. I just felt like talking today, and I didn't want to get on the phone and call anyone, so I thought I would just make a video and do it this way, honestly. But one of the other things that I've enjoyed while being off work is I've watched a lot of movies. A lot of movies. I counted them, 15 to be exact. Now I have a list of the movies that I watched, and let me tell you what, the majority of them, 75%, were freaking weird. I don't know what happened. Alright, I'm just gonna ramble them off. I can't spend a lot of time talking about each one because there's 15. When I first started being off work, the first movie I watched was called Someone Marry Barry. Now, that was actually really funny. I tend to go more towards horror movies, but I was like, okay, mix it up. Try to watch a comedy. And yeah, if anybody's seen that movie, actually, I recommend it. It was pretty entertaining. It was about an obnoxious friend that the friends tried to get to marry off because he's so annoying, and they just want him to be able to focus on somebody other than them. Well, he ends up finding somebody just like himself. So now they have like double the annoying people to deal with. Another movie I watched was called Reign Over Me with Adam Sandler. That was really good. That was an emotional movie about his life struggle. So I highly recommend Reign Over Me. I watched a movie called Mama's Boy, which actually had the boy in it that played, oh my gosh, what movie was he in? You guys would know. He has the shirt that says Pedro. He's got the red curly hair. What movie is that? Everybody knows it. Anyways, the actor that starred in that movie was in this movie. It was pretty cute. It was a cute movie. I watched Christmas Vacation, which is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. I think in my live I said that I liked A Christmas Story best, but I had a little bit of wine in me and I just like rattled off the wrong words. I watched another Christmas movie called Christmas with the Walters. That was pretty cute. It was okay. Then I watched a movie called A Girl in the Box. That was freaky. That was a hitchhiking movie. something very disturbing that was only half an hour long that after I watched it, and while I was watching it, I kept wanting to turn it off. I have thought about it since then, and given the chance, again, I would have not watched it. I have kind of been beating myself up a little bit over why did you watch that, but it is a true breakdown of two young boys that took a 2-year-old child from a mall and what they did to him and what ultimately landed them in jail and tried as adults. They were 10 years old. If you've seen this 30-minute breakdown, it's basically what happened at the police station, the interviews. They both, I think, got out after 8 years. 8 years. I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. I don't think they should have gotten out. But one of them is still out, and one of them landed himself back in prison and remains there. So, I wish I could erase that one from my mind. Let's move on. The next movie I watched was really weird, and it was called Life After Beth. I'm going to turn my light down since I'm so close to the camera. There, that's much better. Don't know why I turned my light on so bright. Anyways, Life After Beth. That was a really weird movie. That is about a young girl that passes, and it's a comedy. It's like kind of a comedy horror movie. It's not sad or anything like that. And she comes back, not to life, but she comes back to this life. And I guess you would say it's sort of like a zombie-ish type movie, but it's not really. It's just kind of comical. So I watched that. That was an odd movie. After I watched it, I was like, okay. And then I watched The Days of the Bagnalled Summer. That was an adorable movie. I literally only watched that New Year's Eve. May have been New Year's Eve or maybe the night before. So again, this was a boy and mom movie about this awkward boy that has to be at home with this awkward mom for the summer, and he wasn't supposed to be there, and it is such a great movie. I don't know, I just found it very entertaining, so I highly recommend Days of the Bagnalled Summer. Okay, so last night I watched 2 movies. Now, I watched a movie called The Death of Dick Long. This movie went in a direction that she would come back, like take a break, and tell him to hold his breath, and he would scream and cry. 45 minutes. I was a mess. All I kept thinking is, why is this boy not at the ER where they could give him some pain relief for whatever it is that's happening in that room? If I was his parent, I would have said, okay, stop, and I would have taken him to the ER. Urgent care is not a hospital. Urgent care just puts a band-aid on something that this boy obviously needed. I wanted to walk out. I wanted to walk out so badly. But, and I already paid my copay. I was pacing. I had anxiety. My heart was beating fast. And I don't usually get like that. Yeah, I was crawling in my skin listening to this. So, after they finally left, the doctor gets on the phone and she calls and she's reporting this to someone. I don't know who, but I hear her, and she was very flustered, and she said that this boy banged a sledgehammer into his finger a couple days before Christmas, and I think it might have been getting infected, so they come to the urgent care. So she decides that she doesn't like what it looks like underneath, so she's going to remove his freaking fingernail. So that is what was going on in that room next to me. She was taking his freaking fingernail off. I mean, let's talk about how freaking bad that would hurt, let alone the fact that it was infected underneath, like it was cut and infected and injured with no pain relief. This kid was freaking tortured, absolutely tortured. I really should have walked out there and said, please take him to an ER and get him some pain medicine. Unbelievable. Anyways, that's what I was doing on New Year's Eve. So, put that back on. I don't know. The doctor enters the room to come and see me. She comes in the door, and she's looking at the paper that I had to fill out with my symptoms, you know, itchy, watery eyes, burning, red, blah, blah, blah. She had a freaking checklist, like a pink eye checklist, and she's like, do you have this? Do you have that? She's looking at it. Do you have that? Oh, did you have a cold symptom? She's basically checking off everything that she's reading off of this paper. Let me tell you, she did this all from the door. She's doing all this from the door. Okay? I'm standing up, leaning against the examination table. She walks in, sets the paper down on the counter, stands at the door, and is talking to me with her checklist. I'm way over here, right? I even did this. I pulled my eyes down and showed them to her, and she goes, oh yeah, that looks like a classic case of pink eye. She never touched me. She stood way at the door, and I was at the exam table. She never walked up to me. She never looked up my nose, in my throat, in my ears. She didn't take a temperature. She did nothing. She talked to me from the door. It was almost to me like she was so flustered from the situation that happened with the boy that she just wanted to write me a script and freaking get me out of the place. That's how she made me feel. So, when I say that I have a probable case of pink eye, that's why I say probable, because technically I wasn't even really diagnosed with it. I suggested to her how long it's been going on, and that I thought I was dealing with an allergy situation, and I was taking allergy meds and using red eye drops and trying to figure out what it could be that I was allergic to. I did recently much sums up how I wasted my time off of work during Christmas break. I hope you guys have a nice new year coming up. I don't really like to make resolutions because I don't like to commit to something that I feel one day when I don't know that's how I'm gonna feel whenever. I don't know, I'm not really a resolution person. Regarding the channel, I do want to create